This is the inside of the Elddis Majestic 105. If I firstly move to the main control panel, I can turn the 12 volt on this button here. Once we've done this, we can turn the water pump on and off just here. The water pump needs to be on so we can get water out the taps, flush the toilet and fill the boiler if it has been drained down. Whenever the pump is running, the green light will illuminate to let you know. Next we have the main isolator for all of the onboard lights. These can then all be turned on and off individually on their own switches. Awning light on and off just here, and then condition of leisure battery and how much water is in the fresh tank. Next we have the control panel for the whale heating and hot water system. So if we start with the water heater just here, as I begin to press the button, we will get a series of icons until we eventually end up back it off. So the first icon just here is the boiler's frost protection mode. So this will just put a residual amount of temperature into the boiler to avoid frost damage if you do not want to be heating up hot water. Next we have a wavy line. Wavy lines represent mains electricity. So now we're heating hot water using the main supply, using about 1 kilowatt. We then have two wavy lines, so mains electricity using about 2 kilowatts. So these two settings here just dependent on the ampage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. If we have no main supply, we can heat our hot water using gas. And if we have both power sources available to us, we can put it into dual fuel. So a mixture of gas and mains at 1 kilowatt and a mixture of gas and mains at 2 kilowatts. These settings are very handy, especially in the winter months if you want to get up to temperature nice and quickly. Whenever you're consuming gas, you will get a little flame symbol appear. If I now drop down to the heating, again we get the icons until we eventually end up back it off. Again, wavy lines, main supply, but this time at about 500 watts. Then at 1 kilowatt, and then 2 kilowatts. So again, just dependent on the ampage of the site you're on. Gas on its own, and then the dual fuel mode. Control the temperature on the plus and minus. Whale recommend this setting here with a little picture of the moon as a night mode if you need your heating on whilst you're asleep, because it will keep the temperature of the motorhome at about 16 degrees, but secondly the fan will be nice and quiet for sleeping. And again, whenever it's consuming gas, a little flame will appear. If there is a problem with either the water heater or the heating, you will get little red exclamation marks just appear. So if it's a water heater issue and you get a red exclamation mark, just press the water heater button and then you'll get a series of little red lights appear, and then in the manual it will tell you what the problem is. If it's something relatively easy that can be sorted out, once you've rectified the problem, you will need to reset it. So just hold the button in just here and then press the plus button. And if it's a heating issue, again just hold the heater button down, you get the series of red lights. And again, if it's nice and easy to reset it, just hold the button in and press the plus. If I now come to the bench seat just here and remove the cushions, and then I lift up, you will find underneath here the consumer unit. So we have the main strip switches just here. So we have the individual MCBs, main RCD and test button. They are all labelled up. So if anything is not working on main supply, just check to see if you've tripped at this point here. Directly beneath that are the 12 volt fuses. And again, they are all labelled up. So if anything is not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you have blown a fuse. Tucked at the bottom just here is the isolator switch for the fresh and waste tank heaters. At the moment they're in the off position. If I now flick it down, they're now in the active position, but they will not come on unless there is water in the tanks and the temperature outside is below about 3 or 4 degrees. The battery charger is located in this section just here. So just make sure that nothing is obstructing this to allow it to ventilate. We then have the back of the battery box. And we have the main 25 amp fuse just here from the leisure battery. The intake just here for the space heater. And then we have the water pump just here and the surge dampener, and then we have the boiler itself. To drain the boiler down for winterization, it's just done on the yellow lever just here. Firstly, make sure that the water pump has been turned off, and then just push it across like so, and it will then begin to drain all the water out of the boiler. If you are fully winterizing the motorhome, I always suggest that you also open the taps as well, because this will help release any airlocks in the system and help it drain down more efficiently. When it comes to refilling the boiler back up, make sure you're back in the position that this is in now. Close all the taps, make sure the fresh water tank has been filled, turn on the 12 volt followed by the water pump, and then it will begin to reprime the boiler. Let the pump run for a few minutes and then begin to open the taps. They will then cough and splutter as they force the air out. Once the water is running freely on both hot and cold, reclose, and then the system will fully reprime itself. Underneath the other bench seat, you mainly have storage. Also the back of the gas locker. The space heater is just located in the floor at this point here. And then tucked up the corner there is the barbecue point. Microwave just here. Always make sure that the contents are removed for travel. This will work when the motorhome is connected to the main supply. And we then have power level just here, wait time defrost, quick start, stop, etc. just here. The microwave is plugged in at this point here. And then we have the hob. So the electric hot plate just here. This, like the microwave, will work when the motorhome is connected to mains electricity. Operates just here. And the red light comes on to let you know it's in operation. We then have the gas rings. And that's just a matter of pushing in, twisting around, and then pressing the igniter just down here. Directly beneath that is the oven and the grill. Push in to the left for the oven. and then to the right for the grill. Storage beneath the oven, you'll also find a plug, and this is for the hot plates, and then the gas isolation taps for the motorhome. So we have fridge, cooker, this one's the hob, and then we also have at the very bottom there the hot water. They're all in the on position, and quite frankly they can stay like that. I always say if you do smell gas in the motorhome, go to the source and turn off the gas bottle. With the fridge, it's in the off position at the moment, just here. If we want to run the fridge on mains electricity, just turn it to the little picture of the 2-pin plug just here. After that we have 12-volt maintain, which is to be used when the engine is running to keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. And then lastly, with a little picture of the flame just here, we can use the fridge on gas. If we're going to use it on gas, come across to the temperature control, hold it in and then push the igniter, and what we want is this line here to drift out of the white into the green to let us know that it is lit. If when you let go it drops back off again, just repeat the process. Sometimes this can take a couple of goes, especially when a new pop bottle has been fitted, as there is air in the system. As soon as you turn it to anything else, it will automatically put itself back out again. Freezer box at the top, which can be removed. Above my head just here is the Omnivent fan. To use this, firstly wind the vent open, and then middle button to turn the unit on. And then we have arrows out for extraction and arrows in for cooling, and it's variable fan speed just by pressing. Do make sure that all roof vents are closed for travel. Sitting just slightly in front of this is the Pir sensor for the alarm. Just press the button to check that it's working from time to time, as it is wireless and requires batteries. Both the smoke alarm and carbon monoxide alarm require batteries, so again just press the buttons from time to time to make sure that they are operating. TV bracket just here, and then we have 12-volt plug-in point and a main socket and the aerial point. The television aerial is located in the wardrobe. To raise the TV aerial mast, just undo the collar and then push up, and then rotate round to get it into the position that you require, and then lock it back into place. Currently the aerial is in the horizontal position. It can be turned on its side to the vertical position for additional tuning if required, and you do this just by turning the tail. Do make sure that the aerial is down for travel. This is the television aerial's booster box, so do make sure it's on if you're wanting to tune in a television and watch it. It turns on and off just on the side here. And then above that is the solar panel regulator. You do not need to do anything with it, it will just smart charge the leisure battery as it's required. Also in here is the location of the freestanding table. At the rear is the washroom. So we've got the shower cubicle just here. Do make sure that the shower screen is secured for travel. Basin just here. And then the toilet. The toilet bowl will swivel. To open to the cassette, just slide the grey lever across and then push the flush just on the top here. And then close back up again. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody has left this open. Level indicator for the cassette just here, so this will illuminate to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. With the bed you can either have 2 singles or a double. If you are going to use singles, the chairs need to be rotated round as they are at the moment, and the way these front seats rotate is just on the grey lever just here, and then we can rotate it round backwards and forwards just on the main bar underneath, and they're also both height adjustable just on the side levers just here, and then we have the normal back adjustment and armrests. So if I am going to make a single bed, firstly get it round like so, then I personally just slide this out slightly and then drop this cushion down the back. And then do exactly the same for the other bed, and as you can see, it still leaves you enough room to walk down the centre. If you are going to have just a double bed, just continue to pull both sections out until they meet in the middle, and then it's just a matter of dropping the cushions into place, and then you have a good sized double bed. It is down to personal preference, but some people will flip these cushions over because it makes them less bumpy